Tarun was an aimless and careless student of class 4. Carefree about everything, he had no interest in academics or sports. He was least bothered in performing well in exams. Fooling around had become an essential part of his daily routine. Even though his grades were not good, he was quite satisfied with the C's and D's on his tests. Completing his homework and attending extra classes were the things he was least bothered by. Tarun always stayed far away from books. Instead, he used the paper to make planes in class. He just wanted to pass. Probably this was the reason why he never scored better than that. In a homework assignment about his aspirations in life, he left the paper blank and used it only to make yet another paper plane. One fine day at school, Tarun was sitting at the back, making paper planes as usual. The teacher walked in to tell them about a guest who was coming to the class to meet them. It wasn't long after that a man wearing an Air Force uniform walked in. This was Wing Commander Arjun Thapar. He was happy to meet the students. He talked about airplanes and his personal experiences with great passion. Tarun seemed quite attentive during the session. Perhaps this was the first time he had ever paid so much attention in class. Long after the other students left, he stood in the class and stared at the airplane on the board. Right at that moment, he saw a plane from the classroom window. Tarun's eyes glittered with hope and excitement. He immediately rushed out of the class to find Wing Commander Arjun Thapar. Dashing towards him, barely catching his breath, he did not say anything, but just handed his paper plane to him. Arjun cheerfully told him that perhaps he was also meant to fly. He also explained the importance of discipline, diligence, and hope. Arjun said, "You will be what you will to be." The Wing Commander's words touched Tarun and inspired him to take action. Upon reaching home, Tarun kept on thinking about Wing Commander Arjun Thapar's words. He got up, took a big sheet of paper, and sketched out a timeline. Tarun felt as if he had suddenly found a new purpose. He realized that to achieve his dreams, he would have to study and get good grades. Tarun could feel the power of hope, and once Tarun chose hope, everything felt attainable. He changed his routine. He started studying, sat in the front row, made notes, and went to extra classes. His enthusiasm increased several times over when he got good grades, and that only encouraged him to work harder. As they say, it is not our abilities that show what we truly are, it is our choices. He would look at airplanes in the sky whenever he was tired. He remembered each and every word from the wing commander. Discipline, diligence, and hope. These principles were adding new colors to his life. His parents, who were once deeply concerned about his behavior, were now content to notice these changes in him. They were proud of him, and this motivated Tarun to work harder. He would study late into the night. He knew that mathematics was not his strongest subject, and he would have to work harder to stay on top of his game. He studied day and night and was eventually able to get selected for the Mathematics Olympiad. This was Tarun's big win. Not just the selection, but the fact that he was able to achieve his goals by sheer hard work was something he could take pride in. He would stay back after every class and solve countless problems. Perhaps this was the reason why he was able to solve a tricky question in the final exam. And against all odds, Tarun went on to win the Olympiad, something that was a big surprise for all and a remarkable achievement for Tarun. That day, Tarun looked at the sky and thought of hope, the only thing that kept him going. It's like a drop of honey, a field of tulips blooming in the springtime, like fresh rain, a whispered promise, a cloudless sky. The perfect punctuation mark at the end of a sentence. This time, on being given the same assignment about his aspirations, he wrote Air Force pilot and submitted the assignment with confidence. Tarun never forgot his dream and kept working hard to fulfill it. His efforts paid off and he became Wing Commander Tarun Sharma. Time passed and he returned home after 20 years. As soon as he entered his room, his childhood memories came gushing back. The timeline remained as it was. The paper planes were still flying around. He brushed the dust off his old photograph with the wing commander and thanked him. Right before leaving, he looked at the words Air Force pilot written on the chart paper and put a tick mark next to it. As Alan Turing once said, sometimes it is the people who no one imagines anything of who do the things that no one can imagine.
This is the story of Sneha, a girl from India who loved playing badminton. Saina Nehwal was her idol, and much like her, she aspired to be a badminton champion. Every morning, she used to cut newspaper clippings, which she later posted on the walls of her room. However, there was one small problem. Her badminton racket was broken. She couldn't ask her parents for a new one either. This meant that Sneha couldn't play badminton during the games period. Seeing those beautiful rackets in the hands of other kids made her feel lesser. She had a friend, Ashmita, a kind and warm-hearted friend. Ashmita had been noticing that Sneha was not playing for a while now. One such day at school, Ashmita asked Sneha to play with her racket during the games period. Sneha refused at first, but couldn't say no when Ashmita insisted. She then hesitantly proceeded towards the court. Maybe it was her lucky day, and the coach asked her to come forward to play a game with him. She was nervous, but went forward. The moment she stepped on the court, she was a different person. Her focus was at its peak, posture perfect, and breathing in control. Things she had learned from watching the games of Saina Nehwal. The coach couldn't guess her moves, and once Sneha took the lead, she didn't look back and sealed the match in less than 30 minutes. The coach was impressed and congratulated her. Sneha thought she ended up playing the best game of her life. It was just the beginning. That day, Sneha felt more confident than ever. But winning that match made Sneha wonder something. She might have won the match, but she would not have Ashmita's racket with her at all times. And then suddenly it struck her. She ran towards the storeroom. She collected all her old toys and sold them off. She got some money from it. On counting it, she found that it wasn't enough. So she decided to sell off her old bicycle as well. With all that money, she went to a sports store. She selected a racket that she really liked. She gave all the money she had to the shopkeeper. But it wasn't enough. Disappointed, she was about to leave. The shopkeeper could see a glimmer of hope in Sneha's eyes. He could see that she had the passion. He asked her to come back and gave her a second-hand racket. He told her that it wasn't a new racket, but it would do the job. He congratulated her on her persistence and told her to never give up. He even handed her a small photo of her idol, Saina Nehwal. She was thrilled. She thanked the shopkeeper and started her training with the coach. Sneha's passion started soaring. She was determined and trained day and night. She realized the harder she trains, the better are her chances of winning the big game. The coach was very pleased with her and believed that she was ready for the big tournament. He told her that her optimism, perseverance, and hard work will take her places. To swim new horizons, she must have the courage to lose sight of the shore. At the tournament, her second-hand racket did wonders. Sneha was beaming with confidence. She was in full form. She was a delight for the spectators and a fierce opponent to the competitors. She won all her matches in straight sets. During the semi-finals, her racket got damaged beyond repair. The coach told her that she could in no way use it for the finals. Sneha was heartbroken. She could see her dreams shatter. Where could she get another racket at the last minute? In her heart, she waited for the miracle. When Ashmita saw Sneha sitting alone, she asked her, "What happened?" Without saying anything, she showed Ashmita her broken racket. Without wasting a single second, Ashmita handed Sneha her racket. This was the same racket that she had used to play her match with the coach. Ashmita told Sneha that the racket was hers to keep now. Sneha hugged her. With this racket, she felt confident again. Sneha went on to play the finals. Yes, I can attain success. I will not stop. I will not lose my focus, were the only thoughts she had. It was a tough competition, but Sneha seized the victory in the end. Days, months, and years passed. Today, Sneha is an excellent player. Her speed and timing are lauded by all. Sneha, in the footsteps of her role model, Saina Nehwal, won multiple badminton tournaments and brought glory to her country. Humility came with success. She remembers Ashmita and the shopkeeper every day. They gave her hope, which fueled her efforts. If not for hope and hard work, she would not have achieved her dream. Her dream of becoming the next Saina Nehwal. When you know what you hope for the most and hold it like a light within you, you can definitely make things happen, almost like magic. This is the story of Nandini, a little girl from Rajasthan, India. Her mother was a housemaid. And her father worked in a hospital. They barely made a living. Yet, they were content. They lived near a hospital. Since childhood, Nandini was in awe of doctors that she came across. Whenever she visited the hospital, they asked her about her well-being. She wanted to be one of them. She wanted to save the lives of people. It was her dream. She was the brightest one in her class. All her teachers admired her. She was hardworking and she always completed her homework in the free periods itself. That gave her time to study at home. She was motivated and driven by her goal. As her heart beat, hope lingered. One day, when she came back from school, she could hear her mother cry. She went inside, wondering what was wrong. Her mother told her that she had been fired from work. Nandini got worried. With barely any savings, they did not have enough money to pay for her schooling. As a result, she would have to quit the school soon. This broke Nandini's heart. Her dreams faded away in an instant. She wanted to help her mother. Nandini had her own box of savings. But it wasn't nearly enough. Nandini wasn't able to take it. She felt helpless and hopeless. The situation at home demotivated Nandini. She stopped paying attention in the class. She even stopped doing her homework. Knowing she would have to leave the school soon, she couldn't see the point in studying. The final exams were about to commence soon, and Nandini had no preparation in place. She was just letting the time pass by and let the circumstances determine her fate. One day, while passing through the corridor, she saw a bunch of kids gathered around the notice board. Making her way in, she saw a notice for a scholarship test. It said that its winner's tuition fee would be waived. This filled Nandini's heart with hope. Her eyes sparkled and she smiled after a very long time. This could end all her problems. She could dream of becoming a doctor again. Nandini was back on track. She left for home and started preparing for the test. She studied day and night during intervals and free periods. Nothing stopped her. Even her teachers could see the change in her. They praised her efforts, which made her even more confident. Finally, she gave the scholarship test. Time passed. Nandini knew that any of the coming weeks at school could be her last. But she was happy that at least she tried. She had put in all her efforts, and she knew, maybe, just maybe, her hard work would pay off. This hope kept her happy and content. One morning, she received a letter at home. The moment she opened it, it seemed as if her heart skipped a beat. She exclaimed with joy. She called her parents and announced the news with great pride. She had received the scholarship. Overjoyed, they couldn't believe it. Nandini had secured the first position. Her dreams had found its wings again. Nothing could stop her now. In the coming years, Nandini kept performing well and got accepted in the best medical college of the country with full scholarship. Today, Nandini is a successful doctor who has saved hundreds of lives. She supports her family financially, and her parents don't have to work now. Sometimes she thinks about the little Nandini, who used hope and efforts to fulfill her dream. She kept faith in herself and always thought, yes, I can attain success. Yes, I can work wonders. I will become a doctor. No matter what happens, I won't stop. I will keep on working hard. Because that is what, without a doubt, makes all the difference. Hope glides, hope floats, hope is real. And once you choose hope, anything is possible.